Well, Coach, just another dramatic postseason game decided by penalty kicks, right? Just another NCAA tournament.
You know, it's like practice. The girls make it look like that easy. I was very impressed with the PKs. They all were tucked in nicely, and to battle like we did, that game was tough in a lot of ways. Miami's a very athletic team that obviously have a very long throw-in that causes a lot of problems. And they had a game plan coming out to hit very direct, flick balls on, to try to pin us in, and with that long throw, and we couldn't get out there for a while. You know, Nick had that first early chance. You know, we go up 1-0 there in the first, I think it was 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of the game. That changes the scope of it a little bit, but I can't say enough about the team. And you know, Ash scoring with, I think it was 6-7 minutes left. Awesome assist by Maddie Barney, and you know, we talk about diving headers and using your head all the time to finish, and you know, the balls dropping to feet, and I get them on them all the time at practice to use your head. And Ash used her head pretty well. That was an awesome diving header. And the celebration with all the, there's a bunch of alums and fans at that end. So, I mean, it was just an awesome atmosphere for the whole crowd, I thought. It was a great crowd tonight.
Ash, tell me about that goal. What did you see there to tie that game up here late in the second half?
Well, right before the game, during warm-up, I kept hitting my headers high. So Coach was like, you got to hit them low. So right when Maddie hit it, I envisioned diving for it, and I just headed it low. It was awesome.
Now, were you guys taken off guard with the long throw-ins, or had you scouted that out beforehand?
We had scouted it. We saw it on video, but she only had one on video that was extremely long. The other ones were kind of normal long, corner of the 6, but everyone tonight, she was, I don't know why they were flying longer than usual. And we're very good in the air, so we worked on defending that, fronting, and making sure they can't flick it on. And I think we just misplayed the first ball that they flicked in, and Bianca was on that girl that scored it pretty tight. It looked like maybe when I watch video, I might be a little more upset on that mark, but it looked like they just executed pretty well on that. And it was not only anything Leanne could have done on that when it goes to the back post on a quick flick like that. And we made some adjustments at half on how to defend that better, more with the corner kick and get some players on the post. And then, Leanne, for the most part, came out and handled some. Cross. The free kicks, too, are a big part of their attack. And they have a big, the keeper comes up and takes almost every free kick by midfield. And I thought Leanne was huge on that tonight, coming out and punching balls. And some of those late saves she made, when we were pushing for a goal, you get caught on transition. And Leanne's the reason we were still in the game at 1-0. So I can't say enough about her play tonight as well.
Leanne,
Connie, what was your immediate thought when Coach put you in?
I mean, I was calm. We had worked on it in practice, and I was pretty comfortable and confident. So.
Is this like the highlight of your freshman year?
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Leanne, you had 2 big saves there in the second half, kept it a 1-0 deficit. What did you see there from Miami bringing pressure there, especially in that second half there where season could be on the line if you don't make that save?
Yeah, definitely. I just knew that I had to be there for my team. My defense always does their job for me, and we have a pretty good chemistry and close relationship. So I saw the slip ball through, and I knew I just had to come out and be big. That's all I did. I just made sure I stayed up, and I was able to make the first save. And then the second save, I just saw she took a touch, and I just tried to get back on my line as quick as possible to get anything on it. So I knew that I had to be there for them.
Coach, talk about your defense and clearing shots out, because in the first half they had several attempts at the goal before they got the goal. And then talk about your defense going into the second half and playing much better.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic there. I think after we missed our chance to go up, they had a flurry of probably 3 or 4 chances, and I think one actually hit the post. One went, I think, just wide, and it was one of those things. Oh, we're dodging some bullets. We need to short some things up here, and that's when if you give away too many long throws or too many corners, it's going to catch up to you. And that's what we were trying to yell out. And part of it was hard too because we were on the far side of the bench, so it was hard to communicate with our defense and tell them. Just a little more composed, and instead of just kick the ball out of bounds, just possess it and just work through it. And so at halftime, we had our chance to actually talk about it, and we did a much better job. I don't remember, but maybe 2 long throws in the whole second half, and nothing really that dangerous, other than those 2. I think those 2 that Leanne. Those were more out of the run of play, though. We got caught pushing high.
Coach, can you talk to the physical play of tonight? Everybody was very tense. It was obvious.
Yeah, it was one of the most tense games I've ever coached in. I'm probably with these guys played because of the the atmosphere of the College Cup first round. team we've already beat in overtime earlier in the year. It's an in-state rival. They're very physical. Every game they've played in this year in the ACC has been a close game for the most part. They only had a few games that were out of reach for them. So I know how much they battle. We watched a lot of video on them, and we knew it was going to be a battle. They had a game plan to battle and to pin us in that first 20 minutes there, the half with those long throw-ins. And I think it says a lot about our girls to try to, even throughout the battle, try to make a soccer game of it more. And when we got the possession, we knocked it around a bit. We were pretty good. We just didn't have as much of the ball as I had liked, or as much composure, especially in the first half. And I think when we started knocking it around a bit, we created some good chances. But they kind of forced us to play a different style than we used to, and we were a little bit more direct. But we had some chances because of that. We got in behind them a few times, and I think Nicolette, she's kicking herself a little bit right now because I think she knows that she probably could have finished one or two there in the game.
Coach, you've been at every high level. You've seen it all. You've been on both sides of this, overtime and penalty kicks going your way, going against you. What is the message to the players as you get into overtime and penalty kicks to keep them calm in this situation? What's kind of the key there?
The key is just to act like it's practice. It really is. It's just training. You're just going up, and it's nice. It's actually harder in practice now because these guys know where these guys are kicking it. So then now they overthink it in practice. So that's when we start to take these keepers out and put some of the reserve keepers in just to keep it fresh. But of course, these keepers always want to be in the mix and want to take them. So that's why they're so good at shot stopping. So the girls, we really just tell them, put it where you usually put it. Make sure it's firm, and it's got to be low or high. It can't be in that mid-range where the keeper's hand when they're diving. And I think all of them were taken extremely well tonight.
Talk about the recovery coach going in. You're going to play Florida. Obviously, you know Florida. You're 2-3-1 versus them as your time here. Talk about the recovery and going to play at Gainesville.
Yeah, we're going to recover tomorrow. It starts with a jog and stretch with the starters, and the reserves play a little small-sided and get a little fitness in. So the rhythms, we try to keep the rhythm the same as we do during the year. They are actually starting tonight right after the game. They're drinking their chocolate milk and eating the energy bars and just getting as much into them right away as far as the carbs and making sure they're getting some food. So it starts tonight with the hydration and the food, and then tomorrow is the active recovery, and then Monday and Tuesday will probably both be off to give us a little bit of some time to maybe watch a video on one of those days. Tuesday's usually normally our off day, so we'll gauge on that what we're going to do on Monday.
What's the key and take two next week of last season's round two?
Yeah, it's always interesting. We're so used to going up to Florida, and we know they're a very good attacking side. They have a lot of key attacking players that move well off the ball. They can finish in a variety of ways. So we need to exploit them like we have in the past with our counterattack and our speed up top and our backs getting forward like we've done all year. Our defense has to play better tonight for sure, because if we let them have those shots that we gave up tonight, I think Lynn's going to make a save or two for sure, but we can't let them get in behind us like we did a few times tonight. So we have to shore some things up in the back line, and let Leanne finish her take those shots that she can and make those saves. But after a certain amount of time, just like tonight, after so many long throws and so many corner kicks, it's like something's going to break at some point. So we have to be a lot more cohesive in the back line.
Now, what did you tell your team at halftime to keep their heads up, being down 1-0 going into the second half?
I just told them, when we got the ball down and started playing some soccer, we were pretty good. We just didn't do it enough. So I tried to calm them down at halftime. It wasn't a matter of a lack of energy or a lack of effort. We had that. It was a lack of composure and finishing our chances and getting the ball wide and knocking around and spreading it out. So we started to try to play more out of the back, and if it was a goal kick or a punt, have Leanne find a back short and just try to spread them out a little bit. We wanted to use the field. We have a nice big field. We wanted to use that, and so we started doing that more in the second half. And I think we did. We had the calmness and composure. Once we tied it up and went to overtime, it turned into then overtime's always kind of crazy anyway. And then you put it on top of it's the first round game and loser goes home. It's even more. So I think that being said, we were very good. We had a couple of chances to end it in overtime. Nick waited to finish her PK, and that's okay, and that's what, you know, the fifth PK taker, Allie Gary, she didn't play the whole game, and she just buried it just like a pro, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all 5 of those PK takers, because it's tough, and I'm proud of Connie for stepping up and saying, I want this, I want it. You know, she's nice and long, she's tall, and she reads it really well, and we know she was gonna get a save, and you know, the girl hit it off the crossbar, so she didn't have to.